some people are saying that Nope is the best movie of the year so far. And I gotta say, I think that might be true. Right now, I would say it definitely takes the number 3 spot on my top 10 list of the year so far. Sorry, Thor: Love and Thunder. And that puts it up in very good company with The Batman and Top Gun Maverick. And you know what? Nope might even be higher than that after I think about it a little bit. I'm still processing the movie. So good. But this is an original film, whereas, of course, those are sequels or, another entry in a very long franchise. So I like this movie. Now, one of the things that's so great about this experience is the surprises. Oh, wow, so good. So this is a spoiler-free review. And I know sometimes you guys are like, Grace, I could ascertain through some of the things that you said what happens. I have been extremely careful in this review not to give anything away. That's how important I think it is. I'm not going to talk about the story at all. And I hope that nobody else ruins it for you. Be very careful. I know that some reviews might decide to try and set up the movie because they're like, oh, that's how it opens. You don't want to know how it opens because that was such an amazing surprise. I loved that. So really be careful. The most important thing, even more important than seeing this movie in IMAX, which is super important, is to avoid spoilers. All right, now there are even some things where you'll be like, what the heck does this have to do with the main story, man? Be patient. It all comes together. Yes, Nope explains itself. Unlike Peele's last film, Us, which tried to explain itself and failed miserably in that regard. This makes up, I felt that everything was explained, to a reasonable degree. There's always unexplained phenomenon in these types of things, but I felt I got answers, damn it, and I could understand what happened. And that made for a very satisfying movie-going experience, as well as the rest of the movie, which was beautiful and terrifying. I looked away. This is a very, it's not a jump scare movie at all. And I was scared. I looked away. Another element that makes Nope incredibly satisfying is how cinematic it is. Mwah! Oh, so beautiful. A lot of filmmakers have been hindered by the pandemic, but Jordan Peele has met that challenge head on with a film that basically takes place all in one valley, yet still feels epic in scope. He wins the pandemic movie making challenge so far. It's also incredibly well shot, a perfect pairing of director and cinematographer. And on that note, I think it's really cool that a cinematographer is actually one of the characters in the film. But Nope's actual cinematographer is Hoyt van Hoytema, who I'm sure some of you are like, oh, I love that guy. And now you're going to definitely say it because he is the guy who shoots a lot of Christopher Nolan's more recent movies. And it's really fantastic to see Van Hoytema on a different type of movie like this, but yet still bringing that gravitas and cinematic splendor that he, brings to Nolan's work. And kudos to Peele for getting him on this project and realizing that that's the type of cinematographer that he wanted. In my social media reaction, I said Nope as if Hitchcock, Kubrick, and Tarantino had a baby. And I'm not just talking about those directors overall, I'm talking about 3 very specific films from them, which I feel come together to make this great movie. I'm talking Hitchcock's Psycho, especially with the Haywood farmhouse. I loved that. Kubrick's The Shining, for obvious reasons, and Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I picked that film in particular because of not only because a lot of same visual aspects, but the focus on below-the-line talent in the movie industry. And Westerns. That's a very big part of this as well. In the third act, in fact, some cowboy music swells, and I was like, this is great. This is great. You took a step back and you were like, this is an amazing movie. I've seen some Spielberg comparisons, and I can understand why, but I won't explain why because it would give spoilers. But I feel there's a cinematic intellectualism to this movie that Spielberg's films don't have. Spielberg's films, and that's not a knock at Spielberg. Who doesn't love Steven Spielberg? But his films are more strictly commercial. I think this is more intellectual. It's very exciting to see a multi-hyphenate superstar like Jordan Peele come into focus. And some of you might be like, what? He's been in focus, Grace. I'm going to explain this. Achieving a mastery of storytelling on every level, from the script to how that story unfolds visually. There are a lot of talented storytellers out there, but it's rare to find one with both critical and commercial appeal. This is definitely his most commercial film to date. And it takes a tremendous amount of discipline, self-awareness, and situational awareness, that's a big one, to achieve that kind of level of directorialship. You can't be a superstar storyteller without embracing instead of fighting the business side of Hollywood. That is crucial. So many artists don't understand that. And when they do, like Peele, they level up in a big way. I'm excited for Peele. And Nope is engineered in this, on that note, is engineered not just to entertain and for you to marvel at, but is a movie that's best seen in theaters, and it's capable of becoming a brand. Branding! The Jupiter's Claim set has already been made a permanent fixture of the Universal Studio Tour, which also includes the Psycho House. How cool is that? You know, again, the Haywood House looks so much like that. And there are rumors that Nope and potentially Jupiter, I wouldn't just make this Jupiter's Claim, I would do the whole movie. But it's perfect for this, but it would be part of Universal's Halloween Horror Nights this coming year with its own themed area. And if you've ever been to Universal Horror Nights, which kind of takes, the studio, especially in Hollywood, is in a field kind of a lot like where they filmed this movie. Obviously, it's nowhere near it, but it has the same kind of terrain. They could do this really well. I love it. I would do that maze in a heartbeat. And I've done Hollywood Horror Nights at Universal and Hollywood Studios before, where they did some psycho stuff. It was great. But of course, most brilliant of all, the real brand being developed here is Jordan Peele. And kudos to him that he knows that he needs to be a brand. A lot of other people are like, I don't want to be a brand man. Don't package and commercialize me. You want to be packaged and commercialized. And Peele is definitely doing that. I think some of us were a bit nervous about Us, that he might be the new M. Night Shyamalan, who still makes movies, but we're all wise to his, ridiculous twists. And, because Us started out brilliantly, but then really fell apart in the third act. But I think Nope cements Peele as the real deal. Oh, it's exciting. And while he certainly has the chops to stand next to top superstar directors, he has a secret weapon that sets him apart. And that's humor, which of course comes from his sketch comedy days. Nope also is very, very funny. Very funny! It's great to have so many different nuances to a film. And unlike Thor: Love and Thunder, which I enjoyed, but it gets the tone right and is able to be funny without undercutting the very serious and scary moments. Dramatic and scary moments. I also want to point out that Hollywood superstar directors throughout time have had a very hard time winning Oscars. Either they have to get an honorary award, or they have to significantly change up the type of movie they make to get recognized by the Academy, because their other work is considered, too commercial. On that note, because a lot of you, when I said how good the movie was, you were like, Oscars, here we come. I'm not sure. I could see Nope picking up craft awards like Mad Max Fury Road and Dune did, and that ain't shabby company to be in. But as for the main categories, picture, director, actor, screenplay, I could see maybe some nominations because the film is just so strong, and Mad Max Fury Road and Dune did pick up nominations in those, well, not actors, but nominations in the categories like picture and director as well. So we'll see how Nope does. I think its strongest bet, actually, besides the craft awards, is Keke Palmer. Because this is such a big step up for her, it's such a big change and such a vibrant performance. I think it's career changing for her, and she's like a lightning rod in the movie. So Hollywood loves an ingenue, so I could see her at least getting nominated for actress, which would be a big win for a movie like this. It was hard. They hardly even nominated any actors from Titanic. Remember? I think only Kate Winslet got nominated because that's how the Academy treats big movies. And Peele already has an Oscar, so don't worry about that. What he needs now is a huge box office hit. Get Out and Us both made fascinatingly and freakishly. I guess it's perfect for Peele's brand, but they both somehow mysteriously made exactly $255 million in change. But they both are $255 worldwide. How crazy is that? And I'd love to see Nope get much higher than that, at least double it, but maybe more. I think it's good enough and commercial enough that it could maybe do more. And so good in theaters. I think it could hopefully do better than those two films. I've seen some people also online say that the film might be divisive. I don't get that at all. I mean, there's a lot of talking in the first act, and a group of 3 female influencers. I specify influencers because I don't know how much they really cared about the movie itself, and I went to an influencer screening. That's how I got to see the movie. Instead of the usual critic screening. And so they might have just been all there about getting the pics for their Instagram and then, peace out. So they left, after like 20 minutes. But the rest of my audience and myself were riveted. So, I mean, if you appreciate cinema at all, you should be riveted as well. I don't understand why they left, to be honest with you. Now, I don't want to tell you, as I said, anything about the story because I want you to go in totally blind as I did. So now that we've talked about Peele, let's focus on the cast. Daniel Kaluuya, who is basically Peele's discovery with Get Out, and who deservedly recently won an Oscar for his fantastic work in Judas and the Black Messiah. That's such a good movie. If you haven't seen that movie, check that out as well. Well, as Kaluuya recently revealed, he had to drop out of Black Panther 2 as it conflicted with the shooting schedule for this movie. And I have to say, Kaluuya made the right decision. This is so good. He is the star of this film. And while his role is largely silent, he's able to totally hold the screen and easily compete with very vibrant characters. Conveying his thoughts instead through his eyes, windows to the soul, baby. And Daniel Kaluuya is very good at this, as you know, but also his body language. And he creates a strong, silent hero, which, of course, is one of Hollywood's favorite archetypes, particularly in the Western. So great performance. It's also important to see his character wanting to protect his father's legacy, having been the first black man to break into the horse training business in Hollywood. With the idea, of course, as you've seen in the trailers, that this family is the descendants of the first person ever to be on film, a black man. And this all holds up a mirror, not just to Hollywood's complicated and unfortunate in many ways history with black talent, but the barriers Peele himself is breaking with this very movie and with his very career. So I thought that was great. Very meta. Keke Palmer, again, as we can also see from the trailers, is just a real live wire in this movie and very funny. But her role is actually quite complex, and kudos to her for being able to play all these nuances so well. She does an excellent job of balancing her character's insensitivity and irresponsibility, really insensitive and irresponsible, but with a lot of heart and hope. She's just really lovable. But complex, which I think is great. A fantastic surprise is Brendan Perea as Angel, and he's been telling everybody that Peele specifically wrote this role for him, and I can see why. He basically plays the IT guy that comes to help them out, and he sticks around, and he almost steals the movie. He's so good, and he has no acting credits. You know what? One of the few things he's done? He was Dr. Time on Doom Patrol, where he didn't even show his face. Hollywood is a crazy business. It fits so perfectly with this movie, by the way. I think that's hilarious, and good for Perea. He's going to be a big star after this, or at least certainly someone's going to scoop him up. Some franchise. Michael Wincott also has a strong presence here, and his rendition of a classic famous song, you'll know it for sure when you hear it, is not only hilarious, but will make you look at that song in a totally different way. Again, that's not only Wincott's performance, but the brilliance of Jordan Peele. Stephen Yeun is only okay. I think he didn't do enough with the opportunity that was given to him here. I don't think he did a lot. I mean, I think that the role did the work for him because it was an amazing role. Oh, it was amazing. His character story is wow. But Stephen Yeun just kind of was letting the role use him instead of him using the role. Finally, see this movie in theaters for sure and see it on a premium screen, preferably IMAX because that's how it was filmed. And especially because they spent so much time looking up at the sky and these big vistas. That's for IMAX. Now, if you get sold out of IMAX, because tickets are going fast, just go see it on the biggest screen that you can. Because as I said, the top priority needs to be avoiding spoilers. And you can just go see it in IMAX again. You've got about 2 weeks to see it in IMAX before Bullet Train comes in and scoops up all the screen. And Nope is going to lose its Dolby screens next week when DC Super Pets comes out. You got to see these movies fast, man, because premium screens are at a premium. I don't know why they don't make more premium screens. It's funny, every time I go to look and see how ticket sales are doing, the premium screens sell out so quickly, but it's like tumbleweeds in the regular theaters because just nobody wants to go in there. So they need to really fix that. There needs to be multiplexes should be primarily premium screens at this point, and they have so many. Dolby, IMAX, AMC Prime, etc. You know, like the RX or whatever it's called. That's I don't know. Seeing this and that seems actually kind of crazy to me. I'd be interested if any of you do that. But yeah, I mean, it's a great movie. All right, so that's my non-spoiler review of Nope. Share your thoughts down below. Subscribe today. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.